Actually, so today we are worked hard. All the kids worked very hard, and so they participated in submitted their videos, and we screened everybody, and we have selected about 6 people as a finalist. So one person is actually, she has other commitment, she could not make it, and we have 5 contestants for this event. And for this event, I'm going to introduce, I'm going to invite prestigious 3 judges. And first one is we well all know, and Narendra Reddy Garu. And this is can you please come on? And the next judge is Tanuja Uvana. Please welcome. And third judge is Adi. And we know the format. Actually, it's going to be initially we're going to introduce the contestant, and so they're going to come onto the stage. And so there is going to be around 12 questions, and we're not going to, whatever they said is right. We're not going to argue with them, and because they're presidential candidate, I don't have to argue with them, and they are qualified people, and they won the primaries, and this is the final debate for them. And I wish, because we are putting our country's future in their hands, and I'm going to treat them as a presidential candidates, and we are not going to ask anything which is reflected to any personal things, and it's going to be, everything is going to be which is related to economy, and feel pretty confident, and you can do the best job. And now I'm going to invite all the contestants by the first name in our order. And first, I'm going to invite Alexa Thalapata. Please take it. Thank you. Next one is Arjun Karnam. Thank you. And third contestant is Nikita Kuvada. Thank you, Mr. Kuvada. And the fourth contestant is Pranati Gangaraju. Thank you, Mr. Gangaraju. And fifth contestant is Vinay Nandanam Party. Thank you, Mr. Nandanam Party. And today it is our tradition to pledge to sing the national anthem of US and also the Vande Mataram. Please invite our prestigious speakers to come and sing. And please raise.
वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् कोटि कोटि कण्ठ कल कल निनादकराले कोटि कोटि भुजैर्धृत कर करवाले अबला केनो मा एसो बले बहुबलतारिणीं नमामि तारिणीं रिपुदलवारिणीं मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम् त्वं हि दुर्गा दशप्रहरणधारिणी कमला कमलदला विहारिणी वाणी वेद्यादायिनी नमामि त्वां नमामि कमलाम् अमलामतुलां सुजलां सुफलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् श्यामलां सरलां सुष्मितां भूषितां धरणीं भरणीं मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful voices, and also thanks a lot. And now, so I just wanted all the contestants to introduce themselves as simple as I'm Ravi Singh Reddy. I'm honored to host our presidential candidate live debate, and as simple as that. And I will introducing and starts with Alekha.
Hi,
My name is Alekia Talapaka. My father, Ram Talapaka, is with me today. I'm from Minnesota. Oh yeah, that's it. I'm from Minnesota. I'm going to 11th grade this year. I would like to thank Ata very much for giving me this opportunity to be able to show my beliefs and explain what I would do if I were president. So again, thank you so much, Ata.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. Can you please introduce?
While he was president. The ultimate determinant in the struggle now going on for the world is not bombs or rockets, it's a trial of will and ideas. A trial of the ideas to which you are dedicated and the beliefs that you cherish.
Thank you.
I'm going to 7th grade and I'm here with my mom, Miss Rajasri.
Can you please raise?
And my brother, Anish Khan.
Thank you. And
And I thank Ata for giving me this opportunity to say what I was doing.
thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Sir. Contestant is Nikita Puvara. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Nikita Pavara. Those are my parents, Krishna Pavara and Prabhakara Pavara. I'm from Atlanta. I go to Brookwood High School. I'll be a sophomore next year, and I just want to thank Ata for this opportunity. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Puvara. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Pranati Raju, and my mom and my brother are here today. I'm my dear Nadi Raju, and I'm a senior, a currently a senior, and I go to Northview High School. And I would like to thank Ata for letting me participate in this debate.
Thank you, Mr. Raju. Can you please introduce Mr. Vinay Anandram?
Hi, my name is Vinay Nandanapati, and I'm a rising freshman. I would like to thank Ata for this great opportunity, and my parents are here with me. My dad, Hanuman Nandanapati, and my mom and my sister, Sudha and Shreya Nandanapati.
Thank you. Thank you all presidential candidates. So the format is we're going to ask you the 12 questions, and the first question will go to the Alekia. The second question starts with Alekia. Second question starts with Arjun, and that way, so they have the first question, if they have some time, they can think about it. Okay, that way you have equal opportunity for everybody to answer the questions. And the first question is, first time in 65 years in our country, our national debt increased gross national product. What's your plan to reduce the debt?
Well, that's a very good question, and I believe that if we raise taxes or if we cut federal spending, it cannot be done without disturbing a majority of Americans. So my plan is that since we are a capitalist country, what we should do is we should focus on the businesses that we already have and use a technique called automated innovation, where we go from an economy-based techniques to earn more money and shift to technology-based techniques. This helps our innovation become more faster, more quicker, and much more efficient, and it helps our economy as a whole. It only makes sense that if our country
Well, I would start by cutting the federal deficit, and then I would streamline government training programs because I believe there's no offense or anything, but there's a bunch of useless training programs out there that are just
to at least get our GDP rate up to a 60% because the economy has to be stable and it can't just go down. Like the national debt can't just decrease more. It has to come up to a certain rate so that it will come up to a safe point, and that's what we have to do. And the only way we can get that GDP rate up to 60% is cut government federal deficit money, borrowing money, and open more businesses, do some trading, communicate with foreign relations. Those can also help the economy bring together.
Thank you, Mr. Garasu.
Well, I believe there are 3 things we can do to reduce our national debt. First, optimize our budget. So much of our federal spending is being spent for defense. We need to bring our troops home and use this defense budget for more citizen-focused projects. Second, we need to restructure our tax system. For years, The wealth of America has been going to the wealthy. They're consuming all our money. So what I think we should do is, we should tax the wealthy more, but at the same time, we should offer them tax incentives. For example, if they invest their money in the right ways, they create jobs, they get tax deductibles. But if they keep their money idle, we tax them more. And third, we have to create value for our country. But what is this value? Value is a proper education, good infrastructure with good government policies. America's educational standards has fallen behind in recent years. China is supposed to surpass our educational standards in roughly 8 years. So we invest our money in education so that our future leaders can be better and help our country. Second, we need better infrastructure. The greedy American corporations are stealing our money. For example, banks like the JP Morgan Chase, they took a $2 billion illegal trade and wasted all that money. And it was these greedy American corporations that caused our house bubble to crash. And so with good government policies, we can reduce this corruption and help reduce our national debt.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Unemployment training program, because since the unemployment rate is really high right now, I think people need to get back into that flow. So in order to get back to work, we need to learn how to be employed perfectly, and so that they won't get that.
Thank you, Ms. The next question goes to the Vinay.
So, one of the programs that I recommend is to create jobs for the USA program. It was introduced by Starbucks with the original $5 million. This program says, give money to CDFIs, or Community Development Financial Institutions, who give money to small businesses, house loans, and microfinance. With a minimal $5 donation, this Create Jobs for the USA program has collected $11.5 million and created roughly 3,800 jobs in the last 2 years. Another program I recommend was recently passed by President Obama. It's called the American Jobs Act. This program cuts the payroll tax by half for the employer and gives the employer a $4,000 tax credit for every employee he hires. This program roughly created 2 million jobs. And another program is the Green Recovery Program. This was proposed by the University of Massachusetts. What this does is, with a $100 billion initial investment, it sounds a lot, but it creates a lot as well. First, it cuts down on oil subsidies, creates almost 2 million jobs, and a greener environment.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Well, I feel like all of the programs that the president has passed so far have been doing some progress, but it hasn't been significant at all. Employment is still above 8% in this country. And to fight this, I have created my own plan, and it's called the Triple E. The first E in Triple E is exposing. We need to expose our residents to the growing jobs of tomorrow and show them what jobs are like of the future, so they can go into these and help increase our business revenue. The next E in the Triple E is called expanding. We need to have our businesses expand domestically and foreignly in order to compete with countries like China in the foreign markets, and also make sure that domestically they're able to provide more and more jobs here at home. And the third E in Triple E, and probably the most important because it is the base for expanding and exposing, is education. Nowadays, a high school diploma is not enough. Everyone needs the chance to go to college so that they can at least be educated in order to create more jobs and help the United States economy.
Thank you. And the same question goes to
Like I said before, what I would do is I would give tax incentives to employers so people who are out there who don't have education and can't afford going back to college and getting student loans can get a job and get training through their employer. Also, I would modernize around 30,000 schools nationwide, which would create nearly 300,000, or the results show, more jobs and for teachers. Also, I would do a cutting down program, so that means cutting down the federal budget. I would cut the aid to state governments, And also, I would reduce the amounts of military expenses we have.
Thank you, Mr. Karam. Now the question starts with Bharati. What's your immigration policy?
Well, my immigration policy is we need to have fair treatment to different races because when the September 11th terrorist attack happened, I think all the Americans started to judge everything the same ethnicity, like the Muslim ethnicity. Basically, they kept on, if they encountered them, they would like put them to the side. Not all of them are have the same mentality like the terrorists did. So I think everybody should be treated fairly because we can't just focus on over one ethnicity that caused a bad thing because it happened a long time ago. And I think that every person is not the same, every person is different even though they have that ethnicity. And so I think my immigration policy is to have fair treatment to all ethnicities and have a chance to get into America, see opportunities.
Thank you, Bharati. Same question goes to the Vinay.
I believe our immigration system is filled with flaws and loopholes. So, coming back to optimizing our budget, I think we need to use the money from defense and put it on more border patrols. Every day, illegal immigrants are jumping the border to get to our country for our rights. People say that we could use their tax money, but the rights we're giving them is so much more than the tax money we're getting from them. So we must be tougher on these illegal immigrants and make sure that they go back to their own home country. And for ourselves, the legal immigrants, we must make sure that our process of getting to this country is easier so that because it is because of us, the country is what it is today.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay. The same question goes to the Alekia.
So my immigration policy is basically that, for example, okay, so if we deport people, how do we know that they're not going to come right back? Our border patrol is not strong enough, but we shouldn't be focusing all of our strength and energy to our borders because that just burns a hole in our pocket. What I believe that we should do is if people want to come to the United States, they should have a valid reason. So we should be able to let people who want to come here apply for the correct application process. And we should be able to make the processes for applying to visas and passports much more efficient and much more quicker so that people who really deserve to be here are here. And people who don't want to be here or people who aren't good enough to come here or who probably don't even have a valid reason to come here can stay in their country and at least improve that. And then as they get better, maybe later we can let them back in. But the biggest thing is that we need to make sure that everyone who comes here has a thorough background check and everything needs to be done very, very quickly so that we know that we're bringing in the right people.
Thank you, Ms. Alekia. The same question goes to Arjun.
Yeah. Well, I would hire more border patrol agents, and I don't think we should take money out of our own pockets for this with a $14 trillion debt. So I would cut military expenses. We're spending way too much things on an effortless cause is what it's becoming now. And I would put it into securing the border so it'll be easy for legal immigrants to get in and hard for illegal immigrants to get in. Because legal immigrants are what makes up our economy. That's why America is such a well-known and good country today, is because there's so many legal immigrants that have brought a vitality to this country.
Thank you, Mr. Karnam. Same question goes to Nikita.
I think that if background checks are made more thorough, we can control like how many immigrants we have coming into the country. We know that whether they have a plan or not, so that they're just not coming here to get their free health care or anything. I think that for illegal immigrants, Border Patrol is there, but that's really controversial because we see that like still illegal immigrants are coming through. So, but they all look for a job, and when they're looking for that job, I think that the process that they go through for job hiring should be made much tougher, and there should be like, even for that, there should be much more thorough background checks. Businesses should have like annual background checks on whether all their employees have legal status or not to be there, and if not, I mean, that's when we can take action and actually do something about that. So, but I think that will control how many illegal immigrants we have, definitely.
Thank you, Nikita. And the next question goes to Vinay. Unemployment is about 8% in the United States. but many corporations are outsourcing their software works to India. How do you respond to that?
Huh. It's smart business for the businesses, isn't it? Low wages, lower taxes, why not? But unfortunately, it's bad business for us. As a country, we're losing jobs that could be given to us. So I believe governments and corporations should work together to increase the number of domestic jobs. And maybe even the government should go as far as maybe taxing or even fining corporations that are trying to outsource their jobs outside the USA. So, I think, in essence, the government should crack down these corporations that are trying to send their jobs outside the USA and make our GDP and economy stronger.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay. And the same question goes to Alekia.
Well, with outsourcing, unfortunately, foreign markets are at the benefit for outsourcing everything. So, to address this issue, we need to look at the root of the problem. Companies outsource because it's cheap labor, and frankly, there are just other people better qualified to do the job in different places. So, in order to address this, I think the first thing we need to do is we don't need more taxes and more fining for businesses, because that just adds so much more of a headache to both the government and business workers and employees and CEOs. What I believe that we should do is we should restrict businesses to first provide jobs here in the United States, and then, if necessary, go on to foreign markets. But I think the number one thing to address outsourcing is that we need to make sure that people here are much more qualified to do the jobs than people in different places like India. Like, we know that in India and China they have such a strong emphasis on math and science, yet most of the students here aren't on par with these subjects. So we need to first improve our education system to make sure that our students are right on top, along with students in India and China. And we also need to make sure that our students know how competitive it is out there in the job market, so that way we can at least, so that way companies can look towards the United States for jobs, not anywhere else.
Thank you, Ms. Alekia. The same question goes to Arjun Karnakis.
Well, first, what I would do is I would reduce the corporate taxes. Here, the corporate taxes are hovering above around 40% or so, and in other countries, it can be as low as 15% or 10%. Well, honestly, let's have a talk. If you were a CEO of a company, where would you want to start a business? Somewhere where you could make more profit, or in America where you'd have to pay like half more tax? I choose outsourcing. So, what I would do is I would reduce the corporate taxes as low as possible, so we would still get a revenue from it, but businesses will be inspired to start their businesses here. And with outsourcing, I would give tax incentives to businesses so they wouldn't outsource. And when it comes with IT-related jobs, we're not at a complete lose situation because it involves three factors: a human factor, software, and hardware. Software and hardware will be purchased from the US, so we're not at a loss of that. Actually, we're at a benefit. The only thing we're at a loss at is our American people do not get any money, or they don't get any jobs. So I would limit it, but I wouldn't completely remove it, as it's not a completely lose situation.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun Karnak. Same question goes to Nikita Puwada, please.
I think that by bringing outsourced jobs back to the U.S. will definitely put Americans back to work, but I think that we should bring back the jobs slower at like paces, like at different levels, so that there's an increased competition for the job, so that people know that they have to be qualified for the job in order to get it. So I think that if we bring it like not like instead of bringing all of the jobs at once, if we bring smaller groups or like in groups around jobs, the competition will be higher. People will know that they have to be more skilled, and I mean they'll work harder and they'll keep the job. So I think that's how.
The same question goes to Sandeep.
Let me say about outsourcing jobs. The reason why some software sector work to other countries is because they're a little bit advanced than us. They have a lot of facilities and a lot of characteristics that lets them get qualified very easily. Like if you send your job to India, your software job to India, I mean it's easy because like there's a lot of opportunities in there more than here. So in order to do that, we have to advance the system basically, because we have to accept a lot of things that it's because if we accept and it brings a lot of agreement and it like helps America become more stronger, it's because if people outsource, then this country will be a little bit neglected. So in order to bring back those jobs, we have to, yes, improve our education, increase the unemployment also, and just polish everything up one step by step.
Thank you, Pranti Gangaraju. And I started with your last question, right? Okay.
1 second. Just a comment or suggestion to all of you. Be relax, don't be so tight, and bring out your sense of humor. Because these days, when a presidential candidate goes to the podiums for debates, they use the sense of humor even to dominate other candidates and also to please the audience. And that is what visual became more important these days than policies. So use your relax. Don't think that we are all judges or something. We are not judging anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything this morning, so we just came here. So use your sense of humor, relax, and at the same time give your message. That will get away. When you mix your message with sense of humor, that will stick in the minds of the people for a long time.
Counter other people.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Narendra Reddy Garu, for your wonderful suggestion. Please relax and enjoy. Okay. So you are a presidential candidate. We are putting the country's future in your hand, and you have so in a tough situation. You have to be as cool as cucumber, you need to take the decision. Okay.
You are telling that country's future is in their hand and relax there.
That's all right. That's how you are cool.
Use our money the most, and the things that are not that necessary. For example, like where our environmental situations are very, very complicated. There's a lot of things like air pollution, contaminated rivers and all that, and like oil company resources, like that oil spill. So those are big problems. So we need to fix those first. And so like balancing the budget, we have to divide the money and use the money most on the resources, because that will keep the country in a good shape. And then we can use the other money for like miscellaneous things, like for for education, technology, and all that. But the main thing that we need to know is that in order to let the country be in a good state, is that the environment has to be good. So we have to use our budget on specific areas that are meant the most.
Thank you, Ms. Pranati Gangaraju. The same question goes to Arvind Nandana Patik.
So balancing the budget, what should we do? So to balance our budget, I believe we need to cut down on spending. Not completely take it down, but just cut down a little and make sure we use that money on more wiser places. For example, education, to improve our future. And then better government policies so that our national debt would go down. And second, we need to stop helping foreign countries. For example, Egypt and Pakistan, they're probably laughing at us right now. Oh, ha, 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 give us money, give us money. And then we're not going to get any aid from them anyway. So instead of aiding foreign countries, we bring back our own money, balance our budget, and use it on better programs for ourselves.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay Party. So recently I read some news. Mr. Karnam has been, Arjun Karnam has been accused of taking illegal contributions from oil corporations to keep oil prices high and cutting subsidies for green energy initiatives. And I've seen this morning newspapers, and also it is an NBC and ABC, all the television channels are talking about. How do you respond to that, Mr. Karnam?
Well, the question is, let me ask those news channels, what can I actually do to do it? I mean, I'm not involved in companies that do oil or gas or anything like that. I can't really take contributions and do anything about it. I haven't been taking contributions. And the oil prices, they will keep going up until we become independent from foreign oil. And I don't know why they blame me for it.
But the thing is, actually, say I cannot go to the work, and it costs me lots of money to go to work. But your president say you are taking illegal contributions, and you're keeping the gas prices, and I cannot afford it.
I can't do anything about keeping the gas prices high. It's the gas companies who, and I'm not voting for it either. I'm not voting for keeping gas prices high. I'm trying to become independent from foreign oil, and I will pass a few bills that will support oil drilling in the U.S. and develop alternative methods like other methods.
Thank you, Mr. Karna. And Nikita Puwada, so you are also taking illegal contributions, and gas prices are going high, and everybody is blaming you. And I see in the newspapers and everywhere, and because of you, United States being policeman of the world. And as a president, what's your strategy in United States foreign policy?
Well, many years ago, President Bush basically focused on the war of Iraq, mostly. He spent half of the budget on military equipment and war, basically. And that, as soon as he focused on that, he started neglecting the country. So war is the main reason why it's like it turns the country down and problems start to form. So in order to do that, my foreign policy is when a country has financial crisis, then we can help. But if there's a war going on between another country, it's not our problem. They have to deal with their own problem, because if, for example, if China has a problem with Japan and they're fighting over it or something, and if they involve U.S. in, then it will start all over again. You will start neglecting the country, and then it will just go down. So financial issues, if other countries have financial issues, we can help. But if it has to do with war or anything, then that's not going to work, because there was a neutrality in our country. We're not in any side. We're just in the middle. So we should keep it that way in order to get involved in other messes, because if we get involved in somebody else's situation, then our country is just going to be neglected again. And that's how.
Thank you, Ms. Raju. The next question goes to Vinay. Same question.
I must agree with the many nations that we are the policemen of the world. We have overextended our military presence all over the world, and we need to come back. America was known as the land of opportunities. We were the role model for everybody else, and this is changing. People are thinking of us as the country that just goes in and takes over the other countries. We need to bring back our country, and we need to be an example, not through military force, but as the country as the land of opportunities. So bring back the troops, bring back everything. We have already overextended our military presence in foreign countries, and we need to instead use that money on our economy, so we'd be a role model through money or economic presence instead of a military force.
Thank you, Mr. Nandapati. Same question goes to Alekhya.
So basically, our founding fathers did not create this country to police all of the other ones and stick our noses in what every other country is doing. That's not what we were meant for. And maybe, okay, let's face it, when we started going into the Middle East, I was in kindergarten. Now I'm basically ready to graduate and we're still there. That doesn't make any sense. 10 years ago, we were able and we had all of the equipment and all of the money to maybe be in a war. But now we have much bigger problems here at home that we need to address first before we can go help any other country. I believe that the faster we get out of all of of mostly Iraq and Afghanistan, the better off we are. And we can help other countries, and as president, I will strengthen our alliances, and every country needs to be respected through diplomacy, but we will not invade other countries for personal gain or asset protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Same question goes to Arjun Khanna, please.
Well, I would follow a policy of non-intervention, neutrality, and independence. It's as simple as that. During the 20th century, we were drifting from what I just said to a policy of interventionism in every single country's business. And I think this is one of the major blunders that the U.S. has made, since it has cost us hundreds of thousands of lives, and over millions have been wounded in the effort. In his farewell address in 1789, George Washington said these three important words regarding relations with other countries. Avoid entangling alliances. And now that's exactly what we're doing, not avoiding entanglement alliances.
Thank you, Mr. Irfan. The same question goes to Nikita Puwada.
I think one of the main things that we need to do is definitely get our troops back. But I think places where we do, or at least where we're keeping our troops, we need to give a better image of ourselves. I think we need to explain ourselves why we're actually there. I mean, no matter how long it takes, we're in somebody else's country, we're using their resources, we're in their land. So, I mean, if we need to converse more with them. We can't just, yeah, we may be the policeman of the business. Yeah, we have stable government right now. Right now, we may be in a ton of debt. So we do need to bring our troops back. But in the places that we are at this point, we still have troops in Afghanistan. We still have troops in Iraq. So we need to, while we're there, I think we need to make sure that they know that we're not really here to stick our noses at their business. We're just trying to help out. We need to make our image like much better while we're there.
Thank you, Nikita Puwada. The next question is to Vinay Party. So, what's your thoughts on healthcare?
Personally, I completely agree with Barack Obama and his healthcare plan. Reasons why? I agree that the adults have to pay higher taxes in order for this healthcare plan to succeed. But at the same time, it is my generation that is being benefited. We get healthcare until we're 26 with our parents, and it's a universal healthcare program. So what does this do? It allows for those private healthcare programs who are corrupted and who are cheating their clients the money. All this can disappear because President Barack Obama also wrote that 80% of the healthcare's profits must go towards its clients. So I think President Barack Obama was correct in proposing this new healthcare plan because it helps the future, helps my generation, and it also stops those corrupt healthcare programs that are here today.
Thank you, Mr. Vinay Party. Same question goes to Alex.
I do believe that people should be in charge of their health care, not insurance companies, which is why the Affordable Care Act is indeed very, very much needed. And it just makes sense that why would we not use the taxes that we pay in order to in turn take care for our own lives? It just makes so much more sense if that's the way it goes. Everyone is covered for medical insurance, and that way we know that everyone is being taken care of. The only thing, though, is that universal health care worked in places like Europe and Canada because it was a forever installment. But since we are introducing this act late, we should focus first on removing fraud in places like welfare and the employment systems, which then helps benefit our healthcare system more. So that makes sure that no one is cheating in our universal healthcare system either.
Thank you, Ms. Alekia. Same question goes to Arjun Katan, please.
Well, the president and his allies in Congress are trying to convince people to accept their health care bill. But there's three main problems with the current health care bill. Number one, it requires the government to hire a lot more IRS agents to make sure people are buying the health care system and no one's cheating it, like Alabaka said. Also, it spends trillions of dollars that Americans don't want to spend in this high debt crisis that we're having at the moment. And finally, the bill is rigged up so that all the good things about the program will come out immediately, but all the negatives like limit to health care and tax increases will be released in 2014. I propose a new health care plan that would make sure the health care is more patient-centered, not healthcare company-centered or government-centered. Also, I would make it easier and cheaper so that people could buy their health care along state lines rather than having their employer give the health care to them. So if they get out of work, then there won't be a lack of health care. And also, I would end lawsuit abuse that leads doctors to practice defensive medicine, which is basically prescribing to patients unnecessary and expensive tests.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun Karnam. The same question goes to Nikita Puwada.
I think Obamacare is exactly what we need at this point. I mean, healthcare is absolutely necessary no matter what. But one thing I think that doctors actually need is they need a much greater protection from frivolous lawsuits. I mean, they're getting sued like anything nowadays, and I think it's important that they have some backup right there. And then I also think that that the healthcare wherever you go, it should be much more patient-centered. Like he said, they unnecessarily charge you for like unneeded prescriptions, unneeded like tests and things that should be controlled greatly. Should be controlled a lot, actually.
Thank you, Nikita Puwada. Same question goes to Pranati Kangaraju, please.
Yeah, I do agree with healthcare because, like, I even see in TV the ads that there's so many insurance companies and they're like just like so many of them. We don't know who to trust. So basically, like healthcare, Obamacare, it's like really universal wide, of course, like he said. It's like it's huge. So like people like have to rely on it because it's president. He's trying to help. And so I think that's important if you trust the leader who created this care.
Second one is Niharika Singareddy. And third one is third one is Sheetal Rumala. And the fourth one is Manasvi Gadam. Thank you. Anybody have Nitya Chinatimana? Nitya is there. She is able to come to the stage. Okay. Let me go to the seniors division. And if anybody in the junior division, once again, a friend of Muhammad. Okay, let me present in the senior division, and we had excellent contest this morning, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So we had grilled about 1.5 hours, and they did excellent job. And everybody, but we need to choose the winners. And so now I want to welcome the third place winner is Arjun Karada. The second place winner is Vinay Nandana Patil. And the grand prize winner is, I want to be American president is. So everybody is in chance. And the winner is Alexia Talabaga. And the participant is, and the next participant, Nikita Puwada, and a senior division. And finally, Pranati Kangaraju in the senior division. And they have done an excellent job యాక్చువల్గా ఏం చెప్పాలంటే మా ఏజ్లో నేను యాక్చువల్ సరిగ్గా మాట్లాడటమే కాదు. యూ షుడ్ లిసన్ దిస్ మార్నింగ్ కన్వర్సేషన్ డిబేట్ యాక్చువల్గా. సో వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు పోస్ట్ ఇట్ ఆన్ ఆటో వెబ్సైట్లో పోస్ట్ చేస్తాము. దే డిడ్ వండర్ఫుల్ జాబ్ and I want everybody to applaud them and give big hands up. Thank you Arna for providing this great opportunity for the great kids, and we'll be continuing similar kind of show, similar kind of contest and coming years. And I'll thank Mr. For the Arta committee for providing this opportunity, and also the Karnataka Reddy for giving this opportunity for bringing up the new talent in our kids. And thank you Atlanta, thanks for coming to Atlanta, thanks a lot, God bless you all.